So when you're thinking about partnering with a brand in the power sports audio segment, you got a lot of choices. But when it comes to Powerbase, they offer some pretty unique and affordable solutions you might just be looking for. Today, we've got ERIK HARBOUR from Powerbase in the studio with us today, and we're going to go through a couple key items that you need to know about. This is CMA Networks presented by SiriusXM, all about Powerbase, and it starts now. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another CMA Network show. Of course, we're into power sports audio. It's a pretty unique category. We're dealing with specialized vehicles that have specialized needs. But one thing's for sure, the owners of these vehicles are looking for a good time, something loud, something that's clear, and something that looks good. Because yeah, it's got to look good too, as much as it sounds good, right? So I've got ERIK HARBOUR in the studio with us. ERIK, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Can you give us a preview of, what we're going to be covering today?
Hey, Ben. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. We're going to go over power sports, marine audio, maybe a little motorcycle stuff, and a little bit of everything that Powerbase has to offer in the power sports category.
Well, ERIK, it looks like we have a jam-packed show ahead, lots of stuff to cover. But before that, a quick word from our sponsor, SiriusXM, to remind you why dealers absolutely love it. And when we come back, we're going to dig right into Powerbase Power Sports Audio.
Hey guys, Ricky Lima here from SiriusXM. I had a chance to speak to some dealers and ask them what they love about selling SiriusXM. Here's what they had to say.
Coast-to-coast coverage.
I love SiriusXM for commercial-free music.
It's a great add-on sale and a profit opportunity.
We love selling SiriusXM because you can listen to the same channel coast to coast.
Profitability and ease of installation. It's a no-brainer.
We love selling SiriusXM for its ease of installation, great profitability, and reliability.
People love it.
As I said at the top of the show, so many options available these days in every category, especially power sports. So, ERIK, my first question to you is, what do you feel sets Powerbase apart, especially in this category?
That's a great question, Ben. I think one of the biggest advantages Powerbase has to other brands is that we're a vertically integrated company. Not only are we the brand, but we're also the factory. So we're able to react quickly to changes in the industry, as well as assess any problems or issues along the way that our dealers or consumers are having. We're able to do all that in-house and in a factory which we control. I think that's a very good point to Powerbase. The other advantage is we also have a large catalog. So we have things that make sense for the consumer who's a little budget-minded. We also have things for the consumer that says the sky's the limit and I want the best there is. The neat thing about Powerbase is we have products that fit all of those categories for power sports, marine, and even motorcycle. And I think that makes us a very well-rounded partner to work with when it comes to power sports.
Well, every story has a beginning, middle, and end. And for this story, we're going to start at the source. Yes, that's right. We're going to get into some source units because Powerbase has got some pretty cool solutions and ones that really work and are, like ERIK says, reliable and affordable as well. So, ERIK, what is the update when it comes to the source unit selection in this category?
With the source units, this was something new for us, but we wanted to dive in feet first, and we wanted to make something amazing for power sports. The MC200 is our traditional power sports square body radio, which fits in most of the accessory mounting brackets that you see out there for the square style radio and works well in most all UTVs. The neat thing about the MC200 that sets it apart is inside is a full D-class amplifier with 50 watts output times 4, as well as DSP control for all output zones. So you have multi-zone control as well as a DSP for each zone. So now you're able to independently control and adjust all of the sound for each zone. So let's say you have front speakers in the dash of your UTV, and you have pods in the rear. You can now adjust them separately and dynamically adjust their DSP so that you can tune that thing properly. Let's say you have large 10-inch pods as well in the rear. You can do the same for that zone, and it can carry a different tuning just for that zone. Very neat unit with AM/FM weather. Of course, we have subwoofer output. We have video camera output so that when you're backing that UTV out of the trailer or off the back of the truck, you can see where you're going. And tons of great features all packed into the UTV. It's one of the best on the market, I guarantee it. Now, with the things that's changed in the market and the chips and the issues that we all faced, I've been told that I can't produce the MC200 because it uses a ton of great chips. However, we're going to transition into a new piece, and that's the MC150, which is still packed with tons of great options. We just cut back some of that DSP tuning in every zone to save on the save on the chip usage. So we still have plenty of power in the channels. We still have subwoofer output. We still have AM, FM, and weather, and we still have that video input with a much smoother and easier user interface in the MC150. But I highly recommend the MC200 as it's an amazing piece, and if you can find them still in stock, grab them now. I guarantee it'll be the best UTV radio you've ever used.
Well, it sounds like it's a safe bet whether you can get your hands on the 200 model or order the new 150. It sounds like these are surefire solutions to that source unit category. But do you have any other models that fit maybe different shapes and sizes, or even some that have more basic features?
We decided to keep going in the head unit world, and we made a standard tachometer fit round radio as well with our MC100. As I said, this fits into the standard tachometer, which is normally used in marine, and it can be used in any other applications. It's in the round shape. It's going to have all of your options as far as Bluetooth, auxiliary, AM, FM, weather, RDS compatible, a 4-band equalizer that's a little bit more advanced than normal so that we can get a bit more tuning in there, 2 3/4 inch LCD display, 20 watts by 4 RMS. It's marine rated, totally sealed, ready to roll. It's a great option for when you want to just fit it right in the hole that's already there and have a very nice marine rated head unit. We also make some other pieces in the Bluetooth controller world, if you will, because we know that most people are using their phones or a Bluetooth device, and some people just simply need control. So we make a great piece that's our rocker switch mount, and that's in the XL BTRS, which is a rocker switch mounted controller that you simply connect your phone or Bluetooth device to, and now you have control of the volume, the track. You also have an auxiliary input in that piece, so it makes it a great source unit that goes straight into a rocker switch hole without having to create a hole for it anymore. We also make a hideaway piece in our BTR1. This is a hideaway Bluetooth receiver, which enables you to plug straight into our XL amplifiers, which we'll get into later, and give it source that's in a hidden format so that your phone connects to the BTR1. There's no real head unit at that point, but you have now a Bluetooth amplifier or Bluetooth connection to provide the signal to the amplifiers. We also make one that's been around for a while called the XL50BT. For those that still like to turn the knob, we've got the XL50BT, which is a knob-style service mount or flush mount type radio piece that's going to give you Bluetooth connection, enable you to control volume as well as track, all from the tips of your fingers with a knob-style control in the XL50BT. So we have tons of options in source units and Bluetooth controllers to keep everything in control.
You know, we're talking about power sports, but really we're talking about a real plethora of different circumstances and situations that dealers often find themselves in. We never know what the customer comes in with. Yeah, we like to think everybody comes in with a standard type of vehicle that there's obviously fit solutions for. But really, power sports encompasses a whole slew of different scenarios. And I think what I want to ask you about next, Eric, is a really special SKU, especially when handlebars might be involved. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about that?
Certainly. The XL PS200 is an amazing piece. It's a handlebar mounted pair of 2.75-inch speakers that are Bluetooth and self-amplified. They come standard with the fitment for Harley or metric bikes. They also work on Rikers and other vehicles of that nature that have a handlebar type setting so that you can mount the pods on the handlebar. Comes with the wiring already built in. You wire that up, get it powered up. It's Bluetooth, connect your phone straight to it. You can put your Bluetooth device in your pocket or in your saddlebag and do all the controls from the top of the PS200, maybe if you're at a red light or something like that, so that it's truly hands-free. You don't have to get your phone out, but then if you're stopped and you decide you need to change tracks, well, you can do that on top of the PS200. They sound amazing. We've done tons of testing as far as in our engineering facility as well as out in the field. They look great. They're in a gunmetal finish with a black grille and the Powerbase 9 dots in the front. And that's the XL PS200. It's an amazing, easy install piece, handlebar mount for Harley-Davidson, metric bikes, and other handlebar controlled type motorsports.
Yeah, those handlebar speakers, I think, are going to be a real nice solution, especially when handlebars are at play. Now, let's move on to another incredibly important category. We can't have full systems without full range speakers. Now, if I know Powerbase, there's going to be quite a few options in this category. Eric, why don't you break it down for us?
You're absolutely right. As I said in the beginning, one of the advantages of Powerbase is we have a lot of different options. and we'd like to make sure that we have options to fit all the needs and all the requirements of the consumer. We have 3 different series in our Powersports and Marine. The XL SS series is an amazing series that goes from 4-inch all the way up to 6x9 in a coaxial configuration. They have an accordion around the center there, around the pole, to keep water from getting out of the gap area, to keep that somewhat waterproof in the front. They have gold-plated terminals, 14-ounce motor structures, and as I said, we do a 4-inch model, a 5 1/4, a 6 1/2, an 8-inch, and a 6x9, all coaxial. A neat thing with the SS series is they come with 2 grills. So they come with a white grill if you want to go with the white color look. They also come with a black grill. So they both come in the same box, so you don't have to choose between buying a white or a black speaker. You've got both options right there in the box with the SS series. Now, when we move forward into UTVs, one of the neat things that guys are doing now is loading the roofs. They're loading the roofs up with speakers as much as they can fit up top. Now, the disadvantage is you don't have a lot of depth. So the SST series, or the XL SST, is our thin mount Powersports series. Now, this is a 6 1/2 or an 8-inch thin mount gunmetal grill with RGB built in. Now, the RGB is built in to illuminate and control different patterns and speeds and give you plenty of color options. You can actually link up to 12 different speakers or 6 pairs with the same controller that comes included in the box. So we give you the speaker and the RGB in a thin mount design with 24-karat gold plated terminals to keep everything water resistant and protected. Now, if you're in a boat and you want to go more marine, full waterproof, we also have the XLM series. This series is more of your full-blown marine in a white finish, totally sealed back. Again, we've plated the terminals and we've made sure that everything is waterproof in this series. That's in a 6 1/2, an 8-inch, and a 6x9 that are guaranteed to fit in your boat and give you tons of sound and tons of options. So there you have it. We've got plenty of options from our standard SS series, our SST thin mount, or our M series that's completely waterproof. And all of these are built for adventure and built for extremes.
Well, I think, Eric, it's time to get into some power options. Of course, we're talking about amplifiers, and I understand there are 2 different series available. Can you break out the differences between the 2 and why there are 2 series to begin with?
Certainly, Ben. We've gone over head units. I've shown you the speakers. Now let me show you the power. So we have the XL series and the XL MX series. Now, when space is a problem, we have the XL series that works great in cars, believe it or not. But we know that when you get out in the UTVs and the boats and water and dirt and mud and all those fun things start coming into play. So the XL series has a conformal coated board. It's actually mounted upside down, so that in case water were to come into the chassis, it's able to slide through the chassis without affecting the board. This series is our more full line of a series with our XL 250.2, which is a 2-channel amplifier, our 800.4, the 900.5 is a 5-channel amplifier, and then we also have the 400 and the 600 subwoofer amplifiers. So you got a full line in the XL series. They're super small, super low profile, IR chipset, 4-layer PCB, and again, conformal coated boards. Now, when we get into more of the extreme action, as you see, some of these buggies like to go under the water, in the mud. And I like to see that if it's flipped over and it's completely submerged, maybe there's more problems to deal with, but you never know. At least the amplifier will be perfectly fine. The MX series is submergible. So in that line, you have a 2-channel and 2305 MX. You also have the 4255 MX 4-channel and our new, just now available, the 805 DMX. This is our 800-watt subwoofer amplifier that's completely submergible, totally sealed, die-cast end plates, amazing little small compact amplifiers that are perfect for UTVs, boats, marine, and even cars.
With the advent of soundbars, this opened up so many opportunities for system building, for getting people into higher quality sound, and to provide a solution in some places where really nothing else would fit. Well, when it comes to soundbars, the Powerbase is definitely no stranger to this category. We've had Eric on before to talk about it, but we would be missing out if we didn't take the time just to express how great the Powerbase soundbars are. Eric, in your own words, why don't you walk us through what the offering for soundbars are?
Of course, Ben. We've heard about a lot of great products, but one of the best things that Powerbase has to offer in Powersports is our soundbars. We make them in 3 different models: the XL 650, which is a 6-speaker option, the XL 850, which is 8 speakers, and the XL 1250, which is 12 speakers. So what happens is the size gets bigger, output of course gets bigger. and the fitment changes a little bit. The neat thing with the 650, it's great for ATV. So we see a lot of guys putting them on four-wheelers or smaller ATV units. The 850 and the 1250, those are great pieces for UTVs. If you've got a four-seater, the 1250 is definitely the way to go. If you've got a two-seater, sometimes the 850 is the best fit. The neat thing is that these could also go on boats. They can go on many other things and many other options. If you'd like to tailgate before you go to maybe a hockey match or a football game, and you tailgate, think about putting a soundbar in the bed. So now you've got plenty of sound right there as soon as you pull up to enjoy your day. Not only can you control this with our XL SB Con RF, it's a wireless remote control so that you don't have to be right on the soundbar. You can control it wirelessly from your keychain. We have tons of mounting options from the XL SB Clamp 2, which bolts straight into the body. These come with studs that actually bolt right in, so you could stud mount. We also have our SBT clamp, which is a thin looped clamp, or SBS, which is a square clamp. So we've got tons of mounting options. It's super simple to mount, super easy to install with a power, a ground, and a trigger wire to turn the unit on and off with your ignition. These units also have memory, so they remember where they were last. So you don't have to worry about starting all over. If you decided to turn it off and go back to it, it's going to remember exactly where you were. You can also run multiple soundbars together with the RCA output going straight into the RCA input of the next soundbar. But it doesn't stop there. With a fixed 2-volt out, you can now run any type of amplifier as a full-range 2-volt output in the RCA. You can run a subwoofer amplifier, or you can run another amplifier to run more pods. You can also use the auxiliary input and run the soundbar in auxiliary mode and control everything with those source units we talked about earlier in the session with the MC200, 150, 100, or even the BTRS. There's going to be some other options coming. We're not done with soundbars, so stay tuned.
Erik, you have made it absolutely crystal clear that Powerbase has got you in pretty much every category you can think of in this power sports and even beyond motorcycle and marine space. So I'll give you an opportunity here to kind of summarize for dealers tuning in why Powerbase should certainly be considered a strong partner within this space.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, I think we really do have a great offering in the power sports and motorsports world. From speakers to head units to amplifiers to our world famous soundbars, we've got it all. The advantage, as I said before, is that we have things to fit whatever the consumer needs. So if the customer needs a thin mount speaker, we have it. If they need a completely waterproof speaker, we've got that. If they need a speaker that sounds great and it's in a pod, we also do those as well. We do waterproof amplifiers in the source units. We do a little bit of all of it at the right price with tons of performance that you'd grow to expect from Powerbase.
All right, I want to take this opportunity and thank Erik for coming in today and talking to us about all these great Powerbase products. And you know, for those Canadian dealers out there, if you're in Canada and you're wondering about Powerbase, well, you need to know that their official exclusive distributor up here is, of course, Importel, the distributor for Powerbase in Canada. On that note, we're going to reach out to Mr. Jeff Thorette, who's their operations manager, because we want to get a Canadian perspective. Now, Jeff, with all the presentation that Erik did today, so many products were covered. Help us narrow it down for 3 hot picks that dealers absolutely need to consider.
That's a hard one, Ben. If you're only going to let me pick 3, the first one would be the XL BTR1, the Powerbase Bluetooth streaming device with the ability to go 3.5 mil into the XL amps. Second one, everyone's working on motorcycles, the XL PS200, and it gives the installers the ability to get creative and mount it on anything else as well. Thirdly, the SST shallow mount speakers, like Erik mentioned, gunmetal finish, shallow mount for your tops of your UTVs, and RGB lighting as well, which everyone wants these days.
Well, Jeff, it's going to be hard to argue with you. I think those are 3 great choices. But I think what dealers also want to hear is, why is Powerbase such a great partner, especially via Importel? I mean, the partnership between Importel and Powerbase is a story of success. So why don't you share details about that successful partnership as well?
Exactly like you just said, Ben. Powerbase has been an amazing partner. Working with Erik is easy. I can get answers fast if there is an issue, which there very rarely is. And then being the vertically integrated company, they are owning their factory. They're able to offer that full line solution of A to Z products that are reliable, affordable, and something a dealer can confidently stand behind when they're selling something to their customer.
Very well said, Jeff. Very well said. A fantastic partnership. Hey, we're at the end of our show. We hope you dealers learned a thing or two about Powerbase's offering within the Power Sports segment. And I think through Importel, if you happen to be in Canada, it's a great partnership there that will really support what you need to get done. That's it for another episode of CMA Networks, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM with over 150 channels in your vehicle. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.